What typically happens with men over 40? They think fat loss is linear. Well, you should eat less, move more, and lose weight. But that's not how it works. Shortly and briefly, the leaner you become, the more precise your system needs to be. So many of you are now saying, I tried everything, but it's still working. So shut the front door and listen to me. So, first of all, I know and I understand that how you feel. And is where most men get frustrated. They think their metabolism is broken, or they assume age is just ruined everything. But that's not what's happening. Fat loss actually follows what I call a precision curve. And I'm going to demonstrate it with this beautiful blue pen marker. The leaner you become, the more precise your system needs to be. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, before I start, I get my cookings at the background because I promised my daughter that I'm gonna have long pasta, so-called spaghetti, for dinner by the time she gets home. And I also have my board here and my script there. And it's not going to be a very professional video or presentation, but I do my best. Please mind that I'm a full-time worker, I'm a full-time dad, and still I believe I can lift knees fast up the ground and help others to do the same what I feel I'm successful with. So let's start. On the left side of the graph have a higher body fat, and on this side probably the effort is required. So I pause my script there. So you see extreme, normal, and easy. So the easy effort is kind of like normal effort and the extreme effort. And here is the body fat. We start with the red zone, with a 30 to 40 or even 40 plus with the males, and with females we simply add 5% more. In the mid zone, where about 20 and 30% body fat, and this is the green zone. This is where most of us, especially inclining to 10, most of us wants to be, especially when the summer is coming. So I hope it's straightforward and I can I can run my script again. So it's not working. Oh, maybe now. So the main idea is simple. At the beginning, fat loss, as you also probably realized, your fat loss responds to broad changes. Later, it responds only to more precise ones. I need to stop this video because I need to do the cooking. I will be back. Needless to say, I'm back. So that's the curve. We start here and it goes quite easily. We go to the easy bit and here up. So, and very important, if you don't understand this, you will keep using beginner level strategies for advanced level fat loss. So let's talk about the easy zone right here. Easy effort, up to 30% body fat. This is where the body fat is higher. So the body tends to respond quickly to simple changes. So for example, someone starts walking more, that helps. And to be honest, you were lazy as fuck, but let's say that you put some energy in that one and time. So you can also, sorry for that, you can also skip a meal. So instead of 5,000 calories, you only put 3,500. Or instead of four or five beers in the evening, you only take one. So you don't need to be perfect with the structure yet. You don't need to track every gram. And you don't need to do a perfect meal timing either. You didn't need everything optimized. And this is why beginning feels motivating. Let me know if I'm wrong. Because the body gives feedback quickly. A few more small changes can produce visible movement on the scale, right? So that's where many people build a belief that fat loss is always supposed to feel like this. But the belief becomes a problem later, because the same level of imprecision that worked at the beginning will not keep working as body fat comes down. As you see, body fat comes down. So let's move to the middle zone, what I call like normal effort. And we go down up to 20% of body fat. And this is where normal zone begins. This is where things stop feeling easy. In the middle zone, fat loss slows down. Not because you stop caring, and definitely not because you suddenly become lazy, but because the body is doing what bodies do, adapting. You burn fewer calories than before. A lower body fat weight means movement costs less energy. Your hunger signals, though, often increase, and your metabolism becomes more efficient. So now a broad effort is no longer enough. So at this stage, habits need to become more consistent. You need to do training, protein, meal timing, really matters even more. So even sleep starts mattering more than people want to admit. And this is where many men say, I'm doing everything the same, but now nothing's happening. And this is partially right. They are doing the same thing. And that's exactly the problem. Because once the body adapts, the strategy has to evolve too. And this is where many people start overreacting. So they cut calories harder. Basically, they starve themselves. They add more cardio. And they start fasting more aggressively. So longer hours. This is not unnecessary bad. But then try to force the next phase of fat loss with the same mindset what they used to in the easy phase. And that usually creates even more fatigue, more stress, and more adherence. So I say you need to start by knowing how many calories you take, check how many steps you take on a daily basis, how many calories you burn with exercise, and first of all, you have to know what your BMR, so basic metabolic rate. So at the end of the normal zone starts the really hard part, so around 20% of body fat, or ladies 25. So we need to move to the precision zone right here, right? This is where the body fat is lower under 20%, and again 25 for the ladies, and fat loss becomes much more exact. Oop, my camera stopped. So this is where most of us wants to go as low as possible, up to 10%. But don't forget, this is the extreme part. This is where not enough to count roughly your calories. or just go for a walk once in a while. Or let's put it this way. Now, small mistakes matter because they are matter. Sleep, stress, recovery, consistency. These are matter more. And at this point, you cannot rely on rough effort anymore. You have to be more precise, more exact. And every training and every move you make will burn fewer calories. You cannot just simply skip a training, especially not two, You have to be more consistent, and your margin for error will be much less. You need a structure. You need to be precise. And this is especially true after 40, because after 40, you're not just dealing with body fat. You are dealing with more life stress and also less recovery margin and lower tolerance for chaos. And often a busier and, be honest, less forgiving schedule, right? So in this zone, the body becomes much less cooperative when the system is messy. A few poor nights, poor nights of sleep can show up. A few days of stress eating can show up. More cookies, more sweets. I just been on a 10-day holiday basically. And this is where you can easily get stuck. Not because fat loss stopped working, but the strategy that got them here or get you here is no longer enough to make it up and take you where you want to go. This is the real lesson of the precision curve. The leaner you want to get, the less you can rely on motivation and guesswork and broad effort. You need a system. And I also want to add, you need to raise your expectation about yourself. You need to deal with hunger, because hunger will be part of your life. And if you are not constantly maintaining the precision, strategy, discipline, and hunger, this is hardly gonna work. So this is where the need fast philosophy fits in. And I know it's a saturated market, but I do believe need fast is actually something unique. At the beginning, simple changes may be enough, but later progress depends on structure. What does it mean? It means regulation before restriction, and recovery before aggression, and also consistency before intensity. It also means understanding that fat loss after 40 is not just about calories. It's about how your body responds to sleep, stress, meal timing, movement, and recovery as a whole system. So when someone says, what used to work doesn't work anymore, my first thought is not, oh, you need to be more disciplined. But I can say my first thought is, your system now requires more precision. And that is completely a different conversation. So let me close this probably relatively quick presentation. Fat loss after 40 is not impossible, but the rules do change. At the beginning, movement and habit changes are often enough, but later progress depends on structure and precision. That's the precision curve. And if you understand where you are on the curve, you stop blaming yourself and start adjusting the strategy intelligently. That's exactly what NEAT-FAS, the NEAT-FAS system, is designed to solve. It was Greg from NEAT-FAS. Should I stop?